places where each can survive, to reach for the rain and endure any pain, to stand up in light and to thrive. Seeds in the wind carried where life begins, to places where each can survive, to reach for the rain and endure any pain, to stand up in light and to thrive.
Welcome. How are you, my child?
I feel life welling up within me, eager to burst forth into the world, to grow, blossom, and bear fruit in whatever ways and places that it can.
You have many hidden, but nevertheless possible, potential beginnings within you.
Yes, I think so, but beginnings are rarely able to reveal the transitional experiences or final outcomes to which they will lead.
So to embrace a new beginning is synonymous with embracing a certain quantity of mystery.
Yes, precision may be applied to perception, but it is unable to connect with even the most tentative conclusion. If I insist upon precision too quickly, I make myself blind to innumerable other possibilities.
Yet the very action and process of living itself unavoidably requires acceptance and embrace of sequential new beginnings.
Sequential?
Yes, sequential and sometimes also simultaneous, like the petals of a flower opening to the light of the sun.
But there are also flowers that only bloom within dark and shady places.
In which case, sunbeams may be absent, but the dynamic of blooming remains more or less the same.
What is at the heart of the dynamic of blooming?
Many things. Colors unique to the individual flower, petals of diverse shape and substance, fragrances which remain invisible to all but those gifted with olfactory sensibilities, perhaps even a sort of music that only the tiny ears of the butterfly are able to hear.
These are all collaborators in a sort of dance that concludes with a fully opened flower?
Well, that's one way of describing it. Each aspect both contributes and experiences expansion, but reaching the peak of the experience is less of a conclusion than it is a doorway to whatever comes next.
A succession of open doorways. I had a vision once of exactly that, during which I was told that the entire universe was one vast open door. I found myself wishing for wings with which to fly through and know the beauty beyond.
It is better for now that you do not. You have not finished exploring the beauty which lies on this side of the doorway. In a very real sense, you have hardly even begun.
I am filled with awe, reaching as hard as I can to comprehend that of which you speak.
In time, you will do much more than merely comprehend it.
Will I? I don't want to fail.
So long as you try, you never will.
And if I lose the strength to try?
You have only but to open your eyes, and that strength will return.
Ever-renewing possibility?
Ever-expanding love and wisdom.
Then it is time to begin.
What will your first step be?
To follow wherever wisdom and love may lead.
And when you cannot see where they lead, what then?
Then I will invest whatever strength I have in whatever opportunities are available, and reach for the dawning of a new day.
And as you reach, you too will expand, like the blooming of a flower.
And if my fingers fall upon stone, upon walls that surround and imprison me,
life remains precious, even when circumstances are hard and constrictive. Yet within this moment, you are as alive as you choose to be.
Stones into earth, broken down by time. Earth into flowers that upward climb. Flowers into seeds, blown away in rhyme. To the stones into earth, broken down by time. Stones into earth, broken down by time. Earth into flowers that upward climb. Flowers into seeds, blown away in rhyme. To the stones into earth, broken down by time.
Where have you been, my child?
I wandered along the roadside, offering what encouragement and assistance I could to every traveler I encountered.
They were grateful for the unconditional love you thereby bestowed.
They appeared to have neither heard nor noticed my presence at all.
Perhaps they do not have the ears of the butterfly.
Was I wrong to have traveled among them? Should I have stayed far from their road and remained hidden from their sight?
How would love have ever touched them then?
Yet they were hard and closed, unwilling for love to take root, unwilling for wisdom to find opportunity.
Such they are free to be.
The winds carried my words away as quickly as they departed from my lips.
The winds had wisdom of who would welcome the words you willingly gave.
I had intended the words to be for the weary travelers.
Yet you remained at peace when the winds intervened and determined otherwise.
I am but a servant, sowing seed.
By which your beginning is multiplied within others, many of whom may live beyond the horizon.
I can only hope that they find joy within the possibilities thereby delivered to them.
They will, because you have done well, even if particular travelers remain closed and hard-hearted.
How am I to know that I have done well when no harvest can be seen?
When no harvest can be seen by you, perhaps, because it is for others to see the harvest that you have sown.
Why am I given the labor of sowing without the reward of seeing the harvest?
The harvest is not the measure of whether you have done well, but rather the gift of your efforts to future generations. Do not measure the quality of your work by the harvest you are able to see, for there is much that eyes can never see.
And there is much that remains for me yet to do.
Life remains precious, even when disregard makes beauty invisible. Yet within this moment, you are as alive as you choose to be.
Whispers to an angel's invitation to start. Whispers to the heart, sweeping walls apart. A butterfly's dance, a seed's one great chance, an angel's invitation to start.
Where have you been, my child?
I went to a festival where a great many people were dancing in celebration of their blessings.
And what were the blessings which they were celebrating?
They did not seem to know. All of their attention was upon moving within that present moment to the lilt of the melody, the beating of the drum, and the crescendo of emotionless instruments.
It was a beautiful appearance?
For its moment, perhaps. But when the music stopped, the crowd dispersed without anyone gratefully acknowledging that they had not danced in isolation. In mere moments, those who had been fellow dancers became obstacles to diverse independent journeys, and everyone began to push and shove, scowling and straining to move past one another. No echo of the celebration remained.
What of the apparent joy only moments before?
It certainly seemed real at the time. I was initially exhilarated that I had found people able both to celebrate life and to also include me. After being excluded even from their awareness by the travelers along the road, I was tempted to feel as if I'd finally found a place to belong.
Was the joy and acceptance real?
I don't know. Is joy and acceptance less real simply because it has no ability to endure?
Does it not endure?
Well, it does within my memory. Specifically because it was beautiful, I wish to remember it, even if it did not endure. Perhaps someday I will find a way to recreate it in a way that does endure. I do think I'm better for having known such joy, even if only for a moment.
Was the absence of joy thereafter that much more painful, specifically because you had known it?
Perhaps, but it never occurred to me that the pain was not worth the treasure of having known such moments.
And what will you do with such treasure?
I will hang it in the heavens for everyone to see, like a star that guides a sailor and lights eternity, like a beacon toward greater freedom and a timeless memory, like a place to store one's wishes and dream of what may be, like a home of love and peacefulness and no adversity.
And so within you, if not within the others, the joy and acceptance endures.
To the very best of my ability, they do and they will.
Life remains precious, even when others forget. Yet within this moment, you are as alive as you choose to be.
Remembering wisdom, remembering love, guidance for my footsteps, meaning from above, a tiny touch of heaven that one can think of. Remembering wisdom, remembering love. guidance for my footsteps, meaning from above, a tiny touch of heaven that one can think of, remembering wisdom, remembering love.
Where have you been, my child?
I became a volunteer worker at a fundraiser for an organization serving the needs of people victimized by misfortune. And I met many other volunteers there as well.
So you made some new friends.
I thought I had made some new friends, but when I contacted them later, they were always too busy to talk, to meet, or to do anything together.
So where are they now?
I don't know. I'm unable to see past all of the distractions that have come between us, to once again catch a glimpse of the beautiful souls with whom I shared moments of community service and wondrous growth.
Was the enthusiasm that accompanied collectively helping people in need merely a pretense?
Perhaps for some, but most seemed quite genuine. I'm not sure they had previously considered, however, all that was necessary afterward to maintain the momentum of the goodwill they had expressed. Perhaps they were simply overwhelmed by what followed.
Perhaps. But there is no garden that does not require occasional weeding.
Perhaps in some ways, the need for having a fundraiser at all was created by too little weeding within the garden of community. Problems which had initially been small were allowed to grow to dangerous proportions before even being addressed, and even then being addressed for only a short time.
So the problems still remain.
Yes, waiting perhaps for the next fundraiser to occur.
It would appear that those who specialize in facilitating such fundraisers will have adequate job security for a long time to come.
Yes, perhaps. And within those future moments, the strength and possibilities of true community may once again return. And I would be honored to be present among them each and every time that they do.
Life remains precious, even when distractions grow to overwhelming density. Yet within this moment, you are as alive as you choose to be.
Hidden in the forest, hidden in the sky, hidden in the city are all the reasons why. Behind all the distractions and things that fill the day are eternal golden treasures that time can't take away. Hidden in the forest, hidden in the sky, hidden in the city are all the reasons why. Behind all the distractions and things that fill the day are eternal golden treasures that time can't take away.
Where have you been, my child?
I journeyed far into the wilderness, my heart heavy with discouragement, toward a distant mountain summit, meeting and speaking with others along the trail.
I suspect you are not at all the sort of person they imagined they would encounter.
No, I was not. But the conversations which followed flowed with love and wisdom, each of us learning from the other, each one helping the other in whatever ways we could, without anyone needing to be asked.
How could there be such unconditional love and acceptance between strangers?
Perhaps it was simply an aspect of being the sort of people who would journey up a mountain just because it was there. Perhaps it was simply an indication that we each possess the sort of mind and spirit that are inspired by mountains to climb, rivers to cross, songs to sing, people to meet, languages to learn, and sacred places to visit.
Indeed. Perhaps you yourselves are the seeds of love and wisdom, cast out across the world to nurture each other.
I think I will remember such priceless moments and the blessedness of touching the soul of another for the rest of my life, even if our paths never actually cross again. I cannot be the lesser person I would have been without the spiritual fingerprints which these others left upon my life.
Just as their lives now also bear your spiritual fingerprints to more places, circumstances, and people than you yourself would ever be able to journey. So what sort of spiritual fingerprints did you leave upon their lives?
To the very best of my ability, unconditional love and wisdom. I can only hope that it made a positive and empowering difference.
You doubt your contribution?
I know not how to be certain of my contribution. I know only my intention, and I know that good intentions are no guarantee of good effects. To know the effect of my contribution, you must ask them.
You are accountable to their opinions?
I am accountable for my actions and willing to be held responsible for the extent to which I genuinely supported greatest wisdom and love. If I were not willing to be held accountable, then I should never be trusted.
Every life is a mirror of the unseen, but to perceive all that is unseen, one must use all of the available mirrors, including your own.
And if the mirror's images seem incongruous or even mutually exclusive?
Then wait a little while longer and perhaps the meaning will become clear, and you will even come to realize the wondrous harvest for which your contribution was more essential than you know.
I rejoice in the triumph of life through difficulty, mystery, and celebration. I am honored to have been a part of it all for even a moment.
Life remains precious, even when its beautiful interconnectedness remains mysterious. Yet within this moment, you are as alive as you choose to be.
Without a face to shine upon, sunlight can't be seen. Without a place to put its roots, no plant can turn to green. Without a dream to guide the way, I won't know where I have been. Without a hand to hold my own, what can love ever mean? Without a face to shine upon, sunlight can't be seen. Without a place to put its roots, no plant can turn to green. Without a dream to guide my way, I won't know where I have been. Without a hand to hold my own, what can love ever mean?
Where are you now, my child?
I am living within the hearts and minds and memories of more people than I can count, even some whom I have never directly met.
Which ones do you find to be most important?
They are all important, all worthy of love and kindness. There can be no legitimate competition for value when the larger picture of life is dependent upon all of the pieces and parts that it includes.
There are many pieces and parts that still know great struggle, suffering, and pain.
There are also many pieces and parts that know great peace, joy, and love.
So which is the greater reality?
They are both equally real, seeking interconnection and wholeness, but often failing to realize that these can only be found in each other.
It is indeed difficult at times to find such things within each other.
It is indeed difficult for a tiny seed to grow into a tall tree as well, but those who rest within the tree's shade never question whether the effort was foolish, ill-advised, or meaningless.
The seed cast upon the wind, buried within the earth, and bursting into sunlight, should never be called upon to justify its existence.
No, that is the folly that human beings too often require of each other, within all of those moments that they forget who and what they are.
Life remains precious, even when truth is ignored yet patiently waits to be rediscovered. Yet within this moment, you are as alive as you choose to be.